Castros, let's going to start our new unit that is going to be fractions. We are going to just do for the next days that we have left on the week. We are just going to recover the days that you were learning fractions last year in year 4. However, it was when it was lockdown, so most of you missed the lessons and some of you didn't probably got it that well. So as you know, we need to recover some of the lessons that you have probably missed previous year. So we are going to do just few lessons about fractions before we come back in term 4, and then we really go into detail on it, okay? So let's going to look at the word fraction. Fraction, as I used to say to you in year 3, is when it comes from Latin, from the word in Latin, and then is fract when you break something like a fracture, yeah, on your bone, you break it into small pieces. So the same for fractions, it comes from fract when you just break something or split it, fragment something into small parts, okay? So let's going to remember that if I have, for example, maybe that's not going to be the best pen to show you. If I have, for example, a pizza and then I cut it into, let's going to say that they are equal, they aren't, are they? And then you cut them into equal parts, okay? You have 1, 2, and 3, and 4 equal parts. You have cut one whole pizza into 4 equal parts, yeah? And then from their equal parts, I'm going to eat 1 and 2, okay? And this is how we were representing fractions. My top number, it is my numerator. And I think that we used to say Nico the numerator, we used to call it in year 3. Some of you may remember, some of you not. The numerator, that is the number on the top of the fraction, and is the one that tells us how many shaped parts are, the equal parts that are being taken. And at the bottom you have the denominator. Okay? The denominator, it is the number that is at the bottom of your fraction. The best way to difference them, numerator and denominator, is just thinking of the down. So the number that goes on the down number from the fraction, yeah, is the denominator, when the numerator is the number on the top. Okay, so remember that D for down. So the denominator, what it shows us is how many equal parts you have. At the minute here on my pizza, I have 4 equal parts, and I 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I've eaten 1 and 2, okay? Right, I hope that you are all remembering a little bit more now. So this is my big question now. I'm going to just put it up here to remember. 2 quarters, and I'm going to put the N and the D to remember it, okay? So I have a chocolate bar. It's all about food today. I hope you have had a nice breakfast, because if not, you're going to be hungry. I have a chocolate bar, and I love that chocolate bar. And someone offers me, would you like to take 1/2 of my chocolate bar, or would you prefer to eat 2 quarters of your chocolate bar? So I'm a little bit greedy. I absolutely love that chocolate bar, and he has absolutely the same chocolate bar as me. And I'm there thinking, well, what do I rather to eat, 1/2 or 2 quarters? So what will you do, guys? If you really want to eat the most of that chocolate bar, what will you eat? Would you rather to choose 1/2, or would you rather to eat 2 quarters? Have a good think. Okay, I think that I'm going to rather to eat 2 quarters, because I'm going to eat 2 bits of my chocolate bar when the other person is only going to eat 1. Do you think that I'm going to end up eating more? Let's check. To check it, I'm going to draw my 2 chocolate bars, alright? And on my first chocolate bar, and that's what I'm trying to do it equal. On my first chocolate bar, I have 1 and 2. And I am going to eat 1. On the other chocolate bar, it is split into 4 equal parts. So let's going to try 1, 2, 3, 4. More or less, let's see. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And from this chocolate bar, I'm going to eat 2 of them. 1 and 2. What do you notice? Let me get it a little bit closer. What can you notice there? What happens? This should be a little bit straight there. Yes, absolutely the same, isn't it? So if I eat 1/2, it is the same than if I eat 2/4. So if anyone else offers you, what do you rather to eat, 1/2 or 2/4? Don't be silly like me and think that 2 is more than 1, so you will be eating more in there. Because actually these portions are smaller because it's cut into more pieces. So if you think of a pizza and you just cut into the pizza into 2, you are going to have a big slice in there. But if you cut 4, them slices are going to become smaller. So it doesn't matter how many you eat, because as it is smaller, those 2 are the same. Can you see it? It doesn't matter that you're eating 2 in here, because those 2 are smaller than 1. Can you see that? A little bit tricky. So today we are going to be looking at these kind of fractions, which they are called equivalent fractions, okay? That they equal the same. So they are the same amount. So let's going to try to get it. Let's going to just focus on this, and let's going to try to get, what can you see in these 2 fractions? What can you notice that make us think maybe, how can I find equivalent fractions? Have a look at those two. What is similar to the numerator and to the denominator? Well, straight away you can see that this is a 1 and this is a 2. So, this one is times by 2. 1 times 2 is 2. What about this one? As well, is the double, 2 and 4. 2 times 2 is 4. So, to find an equivalent fraction, we do need to time the numerator and the denominator by the same number. Do you think that you are able to find the next equivalent fraction? Can you do it? This time, I am going to time my fraction by 3. I time it by 2. Now I'm going to time it by 3. And because I'm timing my numerator by 3, I'm going to time as well my denominator by 3. Do not think about timing this one, okay? Let's go to time the first number. So what would you get in there? What do you think? Let's try. 1 times 3 is 3. 2 times 3 is 6. That means that 1/2, 2 quarters, and 3/6 are the same. So if you have 3 pizzas, one is cut into 2 equal parts, the other one is cut into 4 equal parts, and the other one is cut into 6 equal parts, you will be eating the same amount. If you eat 1/2, then if you eat 2 quarters, then if you eat 3/6. Can you see that? So to find an equivalent fraction today, we do need to find the fraction and time the numerator and the denominator by the same number, so you will get a equivalent fraction. Can you try then to find an equivalent fraction from this? Can you then try to find? Actually, can you just try to find the next one? So I was going to see if you can find the next one. I have 1/2 is the same as 2 quarters, is the same as 3/6, is the same as what? Okay, pause it when you are working it out. We've timed it by 2, I've timed my fraction by 3, and you time your fraction by 4. Have a go at it and then play it again when you are ready. Okay, so this time you were timing it by 4. 1 times 4, you should have a 4 on your numerator. 2 times 4, you should have 8 on your denominator. So that means that 1/2, 2 quarters, 3/6, and 4/8 are equivalent fractions. They are all the same value, the same amount, okay? Right, what happened then if I get a different fraction now? What happened if I get a fraction like this? Well, this time 8/12. We are looking at timing, but you can also divide. I'm going to get it closer so you can see. You can also divide this fraction to find the equivalent. So if you want to find smaller fractions that are the same amount, you can do it by dividing. If before you were timing, now you can divide, but then to divide is a little bit trickier because you need to find a number that can be divisible by both of them. For example, where is 8 and 12? Where can I find 8 and 12 on a timetable, on the same timetable? 2? Yeah. So let's go into divide 8 and 12 by 2. So let's going to find my equivalent fraction from 8/12. 8 divided by 2 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 12 divided by 2 is 6. 6 times 2 is 12. Can you see that? Yes? Okay. Do you think then that you can find another equivalent? Let me see. This time, I'm going to think, have I got 8 and 12 in another timetable? Is it on my 3 timetable? 12, yeah. Is it 8 on my 3 timetable? It's not. 4. 8 is on my 4 timetable and 12 is on my 4 timetable. So let me divide. 8 by 4 is 2. 12 by 4 is 3. There we are. So we do have 3 equivalent fractions. 8/12 is the same as 4/6. That is the same as 2/3. Can you see that? Okay, do you think that you are ready? If we just look quick, that to find an equivalent fraction, I do need to get my fraction, and if it's a small fraction with small numbers like this, I can actually time it by the same number, the numerator and the denominator, to get equivalent fractions. Or if it's fractions with big numbers like 8 and 12, I can actually divide my numbers, my numerator and my denominator, by the same numbers. But then that's the tricky bit. They do need to be divisible. You need to make sure that they can go straight into group of 4 or 2s, okay, that they can be divided. Can you find, let's going to find the one for multiply. If I give you 1/3, can you find two equivalent fractions for 1/3? Okay, and you can use it by timing. All right, but then can you now try, if I give you 6, actually I'm going to put it up here, the division one. If I give you now 6/18, can you then find by dividing equivalent fractions from 6/18? Can you as well try to find 2, please? Okay, and that is what I want you to do on your do it today. So if there is going to be a fraction, just find it, count the shade bits, count the total, write the fraction, and once that you have the fraction, you need to find the equivalent. Can you find at least 3 on each? You can use your multiplication or your division, all right? Multiplication or division. Okay, pause the video there, work it out, find the equivalent fractions, and let's going to play it as soon as you're ready. Right, we were looking at equivalent fractions, and then we were looking that they do have the same value. My numerator and my denominator, they do need to go timing or dividing by the same number to get a fraction that has the same value. So, on my first one, I ask you to actually divide it. 6 and 8, the tricky bit is that it needs to be 6 and 8 on the same timetable. I can find 6, let's going to start with 2. I can find 6 on my 2 timetable. Can I find 18 on my 2 timetable? Yeah. So if I divide it by 2, 6 divided by 2 is 3. 18 divided by 2 is 9. Okay, let me try to think now of another one. Can I find 6 and 18? I've done 2, I'm going to go now for 3. Can I find 6 on my 3 timetable? Yeah? Can I find 18 on my 3 timetable? Yeah. So I'm going to divide 6 by 3. 6 divided by 3 is 2. And 18 divided by 3. 18 divided by 3 is 6. So that's 2 of your equivalent fractions. Maybe you have more, but these ones are the ones that I just got dividing by 2 first and then 3. On your timetable, try to go from the lowest to the highest, okay? Let's going to just look for this one, and then I can send you to do your work. 1/3. And I ask you to time by the same number to find an equivalent fraction. I'm going to start with 2. As I told you, I'm going to go to just the lower one. 1 times 2 is 2. 2 times 3 is 6. Now I'm going to time by 3. Now I'm going to find another equivalent fraction. 1 times 3 is 3. 3 times 3 is 9. Do you think that you can think now straight away what is 4? That will be 4 what? Absolutely right, 4/12. So that means that all of these fractions have the same amount, the same value. Okay? So have a go at your exercises, not really tricky. First of all, count your shading parts on your numerator, how many out of how many, and then just find the equivalent fractions. Can you try to do at least 3 on each? Okay? And we correct it tomorrow. Bye bye!